Hey, everybody. Good morning. It is Mike, your host of Multifamily Unplugged. It's Saturday morning. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're here. Sometimes that, counter time or that time counter just seems like it's never going to go away. Those seconds just click by. It's always funny to me. But hey, good morning. If you are new to the show, go tell somebody that they need to get up and listen to this, because today we are going to just rock it. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to want to buckle up for this episode, because my guest is going to come with a ton of energy and we're going to just have a lot of fun this morning. So if you haven't had your coffee yet, you probably want to go grab that coffee, go wake somebody up, tell them to get here. One thing I want to ask you, please go to social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know, it helps the algorithms. Please follow me, like me, love me, all that stuff that we do for each other. Just please continue to connect with me on social media. And remember, we're here every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time, just bringing great, relevant content to you for multifamily investing. And boy, we're in for a show this morning. But before we get started, let me ask you a question. What's your intention, right? I ask that every week, right? Every time I go live, I say, hey, what is your intention? What's your intention for acquisitions this year? What's your intention for education this year? What's your intention for this weekend and for today? Are you going to spend some family time? Are you going to get out for a bike ride? What exactly are you going to get out and do? So I believe that if we don't set intentions, we tend to cause ourselves to sit back and do nothing. When we are intentional about our lives, when we're intentional about what we want to accomplish and what we want to achieve, those things tend to come to us a little bit easier. So I'm going to encourage you to take the next couple of moments, write out right now what your intentions are and how you're going to go about your day and go about the rest of this year in your investment business. And like I said, I'm glad that you're here this morning. Well, today I'm joined by a good friend of mine, April. April is with Freedom Investing. She is one of the founders of the Windy City REI. Big shout out to Windy City and Chris and Jillian and Angela and everybody else. And most of those people have all been on my show. And so April is going to bring us some great content. I love the energy and I love what we're going to do. So April, come on in. Hey, what's up, April?
Hey, Mike. Hey, it's actually it's good morning for me because I just woke up. I work overnight, but I think it's afternoon for everybody else.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Depends on what time you get up. But if you're, like me, and I get up at 4:00 in the morning every day, and everybody always busts my chops for that. But
well, I'm up at 4 a.m. So if you're ever wanting to chat with someone, just text me.
Okay, I'll remember that. Hey, April, listen, I always love to start this show with one question. And I think actually sometime I'm probably going to write a book on this. But in one word, what best describes you personally and professionally?
Wow. I think I would say I'm compassionate. Is what I would say.
Okay.
It kind of spills over into a lot of areas of my life, being a nurse. And so I try and conduct myself with compassion and with a set of ethics and values constantly. So yeah. I think that's something to say.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that, to be compassionate like that. So I'm glad that you're here today. And so that maybe explains a little bit why you worked overnight, because you're a nurse, right?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a nurse practitioner at one of the trauma hospitals in the south side of Chicago.
Yeah. So, and I mentioned before, but for the listeners, that's got to be an interesting experience, especially in the summertime when the heat, when it's hot and warm at night and people are out and
when they're having a good time. Yeah. When it's hot out, the streets are hot. So, so it gets really interesting. People, we meet a bunch of interesting people in different areas and different conditions. So it's a fun time.
Yeah. Well, listen, why don't you do this? Why don't we start by doing this? Tell the listeners about your background, who you are, where you came from, what you do, and what you're up to these days.
So yeah, my name is April. I'm here in Chicago. I actually I'm a nurse, and I actually never really wanted to get into real estate investing. My husband kind of dragged me kicking and screaming. I had gone to school, and I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking about about being my own boss and making my own money and having my own income stream. And that's what the school system is kind of really, really good at. The school system is really good at churning out these robots to be a cogwheel in somebody else's dream.
Hmm.
And so you really have to have a mindset shift and really understand that you're really at the mercy of somebody else if you are employed and that you're trading your time for money. And when my husband kind of opened my eyes to that, and I realized, yeah, that's something that we can, instead of sitting down and binging Netflix every weekend and having a drink and relaxing, we can be putting our time towards something a little bit more purposeful and useful when we're not at work. Um, and it's kind of given us a sense of purpose, and it's kind of brought us really a lot closer. And so, sorry, I got off on a tangent there. So
Yeah,
kicking and
you're okay.
screaming to real estate, we turned our 3 bed 3 bath single family home into a rental that's in Bolingbrook, and it's doing really well. And we downsized into a 1 bed 1 bath. I think it's about 600 square feet here in Berwyn. We're house hacking a 3 flat, and we started that in 2019. And then, and last year in 2021, we actually bought our second 3 flat here in Berwyn. And within all of this craziness that we were undergoing, we met a wonderful couple at a real estate conference, the Midwest Real Estate Networking Conference, by John Kasman and Bree Schmidt. We
Yeah.
met Angela and Chris Toribio and Alex Ferraro, and we all kind of wanted to continue networking with the group of people that we saw there and met there. So we made Windy City REI. It's just a real estate networking group, and people who are like-minded and want to get together and talk and inspire each other and hold each other accountable. And so we meet. We've been meeting for a little bit. Actually, this is going to be our first full year at the Navigator. This will be
Okay.
the 1 year. The June is the 1 year anniversary at Navigator
Nice.
Taproom in Lincoln Square.
Nice.
And yeah, so Windy City REI. And then we realized our goals were very aligned. Chris Toribio, Angela, and my husband and I. We kind of wanted the same things. We're in the same stages of our lives. We kind of have very similar investments. And we decided to, scale into multifamily together.
Nice. Good for you. And I've kind of really enjoyed over the last several months showing up and being at Windy City REI. It's a lot of fun, great group of people. And, it just, it makes for a nice couple of hours on the weekend just to network and meet people. And here, I just want to say this for people that don't know where Berwyn is. Berwyn is one of the western suburbs of Chicago, probably 20 minutes from downtown.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great location. 20 minutes from downtown. It's right. So we're in North Berwyn. So we're almost right off of 290. You'd exit either Austin or Harlem, whichever is your pleasure. And yeah, we're right beneath Oak Park. We're right to the right of Forest Park. And it's just a great location. It's a great neighborhood. Really hardworking, good people here. And I mean, I definitely had to transition from living in Bolingbrook because
I was going to say,
it was definitely, I wasn't used to having to walk far from my garage to my house, and street parking and permits, but yeah, it's been a great transition.
yeah, nice. Good for you guys. And your husband, Jillian,
Hmm.
what does he do?
So Julian, he's a ground service mechanic at United.
Okay. So
Yeah,
he keeps us safe when we fly from place to place.
he keeps it safe and he lets me fly for free. So
Oh, nice. Well, the good news is that you don't have to fly come July to come to the GoB Network Conference.
that's right. So yeah, our conference on the 13th and 14th, we're just so excited about it, to have a bunch of real estate investors from not just Chicago, but like across the country,
Yeah.
filtering in and providing value and being exposed to these deals. It's just going to be pretty amazing. And we've
Yeah.
got a great group of people helping us create this conference. And so I'm really excited about what we're going to do.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of buzz on social media right now about it, and I'm certainly excited and honored that I get the opportunity to speak at the event. And share the stage with people like John Kasman and Brian Briscoe and so many others that, I'm just don't remember all the names. So
Yeah. We're adding new names daily, and we actually just confirmed Jay Scott from Bigger Pockets, and he wrote the recession proof real estate book and flipping houses, and a huge name. And he just had a great podcast on the recession and how to understand what's going on with inflation, and we're so excited to have him there too.
Yeah, nice. And one thing I like about it is Jim's concept about putting this together and really being 2 days of networking. So, Jim's goal is to do 40 deals in those 2 days, which is a pretty staggering goal. And I don't know of any other conference anywhere that's ever had a goal like that. So go ahead.
No, I'm always in awe and excited when I hear Jim's ideas. When you come from, so I come from, I'll admit it's something that I work on. I come from a scarcity mindset sometimes, and it's something that you're constantly working on, is having an abundance mindset and knowing that there are opportunities out there and possibilities out there if you embrace it. And so it's been such a wonderful experience being exposed to Jim Biggs and his go-giver mentality, and kind of adopting that into my own life. And so it's going to be exciting, and I hope people come with an open mind and an excited spirit to be able to network and get these deals done.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a minute, April. I told you we'd wind up in some rabbit.
Yeah.
But here, I think so many people have limiting beliefs. They have this story that they tell themselves. I don't have the education. I don't have the money. I don't know anybody, And we tend to tell ourselves these stories, which keeps us at that place of scarcity mindset. And I just did an event over the last 5 days, and Carl Moose, our good friend Moose,
Mm-hmm.
who really is focused on mindset, talked on one of the days with me, shared some space with me, and we talked about mindset. And for you, I want to hear your thoughts, how you get out of that scarcity mindset. What do you do for yourself, and what can other people do to change their story, right, and to start to think a different way? Are you ready to skyrocket your multifamily business and see real results in your investing activities? I'm looking for 5 highly motivated individuals who are serious about taking their real estate business to the next level. If you are ready to become a better version of yourself and are sick and tired of wasting time and are ready to explode to the next level, then apply today and see if you qualify for my personal one-on-one coaching and mentoring. Log on to My Core Intentions and schedule a call for a free consultation.
So, Mike, I'm going to be completely honest. It's definitely something that I'm constantly, every single day, working on. I'm constantly thinking about what I think. And so I think it's very important to be aware and cognizant of the internal narrative that you have rolling in your head. Because if you're constantly telling yourself, I can't do that, or how am I going to go network? I have no real estate experience. How can I buy this property and manage these tenants if I've never done it before?
Yeah.
If you're constantly having these scared thoughts in your head, then you're going to constantly be scared. It's going to show in your actions. And so having like-minded people around you, and equipping yourself with the tools, so educating yourself, looking back at how far you've come, and when you're doing that self-reflection of your mistakes, make it insightful and make it actionable. Because if you're sitting there and ruminating about, oh my God, I can't believe I did that, I can't believe I said that, it's not beneficial.
Yeah.
If you're reflecting on your mistakes, change your operating system, change the way that you do things, and then move on. Use those experiences as a learning experience, a stepping stone, and then move on, let it go.
Yeah. This is why I think coaching is important for people. And what you're talking about right now is so important, because so many people struggle with it every day. It's just like in my own life, I had to make a decision to not let my past define me, right?
Absolutely.
if you look backwards, and I think so many people are trapped in their mind, in a prison in their mind, right? About,
Mm-hmm.
they might have had an addiction to alcohol, drugs, gambling,
Mm-hmm.
or they could have, or they could be, have abuse, physical or sexual abuse in their past. And I think people get trapped in that. And I think a coach is really important for that, to help you look at things differently. See, here's what I believe about coaching, and what it's always worked for me is a good coach doesn't tell you what to do, but they help you self-discover what you already know and
Mm-hmm.
pull it to the surface, and then hold you accountable to that. And whether you're coached every week or once a month by somebody, I think you need that relationship for accountability purposes in your life. Um, so
Absolutely. I completely agree with that.
yeah, so I think it's great that you work on that, and that you kind of push yourself forward, and work through that. So how does that flow over into, so you say a couple of things here, right? You say I'm compassionate, but yet I have this mindset of scarcity. How do you go to work as a nurse, in your W-2 job, which, I know at some point you'd probably like to leave, right?
Oh, yes. So that's the thing. Uh, I love my job. I love my job, but I don't. I I want to be able to stop trading my time for money and be able to truly enjoy my job without depending on the income. And so you can love your job and still and want to invest in real estate, and that's okay to not want to always leave your W-2, but being able to have the ability to truly enjoy it and not have to trudge your way over there every single day just because you need to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's so for my abundance mindset, how am I shifting that? um it's just again, the narrative that I say in my head, instead of saying, oh, I've got a lot of competition in this area, there's enough success for everyone, there's enough money for everyone, there's enough screen time, there is enough for everyone, and everyone, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll eventually get what you want as well.
Right. Love Zig Ziglar.
Yeah, I love that too. My husband shows me these amazing quotes every single day, and it's really inspiring, and it's just constantly
Yeah.
you dictate the narrative that you are constantly living by.
So does your husband encourage you in that direction?
Oh yeah, I mean he's shown me so many quotes, and it has inspired me to listen to podcasts instead of wasting some time on music or mindless listening. Just use your days purposefully. I think there was a quote that he said, oh my gosh, I'm going to butcher it, but you will never exceed your level of personal development,
Hmm.
because the person, you have to be like purposeful with the person you want to become. And
Yeah.
so that it's really exciting to be more aware and be more accountable of how you hold yourself and what you think, and it'll get you further in life.
So if I can read between the lines there a little bit, you're kind of saying education is somewhat important as well.
And if you hear and listen to podcasts of people that you find successful, you'll hear them say, my coach said this, or I work on this with my coach. Even the most successful people,
Yeah.
even your mentors, have mentors.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
what's funny is, I like the way you kind of, I have a story around that, right? I pull up to a seminar one day. I'm in Southern California going to an event. And I pull in the parking lot, and there is absolutely nothing but Rolls Royces and
Ooh.
Mercedes and Range Rovers. And I'm like, man, what else is going on here, right? And
Mhm.
I go in, and after about half day, I figure out that most of the people in that event drive the cars in the parking lot I just looked at. And
Oh.
the thought occurred to me is, why would somebody who's already got this success, this Rolls Royce, this Mercedes, this Bentley,
Mhm.
why would they be at an event like this? And talking to a couple of people, you discover that, hey, I want to get another Bentley.
Yeah.
I want a little bit more, right? And not that that's what it's about, but I think there's a self-accomplishment inside of us that
Mhm.
when we can move beyond that story we tell ourselves into a new story. So one of the things I talked about with Carl was start to change the story. Write
Mhm.
down for yourself, and this was homework that I gave this week, was write down 10 IMs. I am a success. I am a successful real estate investor. I am wealthy. I am whatever that is, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then I will take action tomorrow. I will go get education. I'll get a coach. I will start to learn how to underwrite deals. And, so when you start to do that for yourself, that starts to dictate your life, not the negative limiting beliefs.
Yeah, I love how you say I am this and then you follow it with the action steps. Because if you have a goal and you put it out there into the universe, it's not going to achieve itself. And so I really love that book, Atomic Habits, and
Mm,
then The One Thing, and The Seven Best Habits of Highly Effective People, and How to Win Friends and Influence People. Like those are books that kind of allow you to focus and really think, how can I achieve these goals? What are the things that I can do every single day to make myself better at what I want to become?
yeah.
And so I think that's super insightful and powerful that you're having those students do that. And I know you were having that 5-day event because I was going to it, but I work overnight, so I can't make
Uh,
those 7 p.m. Meetings all the time.
Yeah. Well, the recording is still out there in the
Mm-hmm.
in the Facebook group, and just for a little shot for anybody, if you want to go out there, it's the 5-day multifamily challenge, and you can join that group and listen to the 5 days. It was a great event. So, hey, April. So here's what I want to know. So you guys own a rental in Bolingbrook.
Mm-hmm.
You own the 3 flat you're in Berwyn.
Correct.
Plus, you bought another 3 flat.
Yes.
How did you do that? Being that it's just you guys and you have a
Yeah.
W-2 job. Talk about deal structure a little bit. How were you able to do that?
You know, it, so our single family home we bought in 2014. And when we decided to turn that into a rental, we obviously needed to live somewhere first. So we reached out, we were on Bigger Pockets, we were networking, and we found John Warren. And
Okay.
John Warren is a powerhouse in Berwyn and actually anywhere that he wants to sell his team with his team. And he walked us through. I mean, we had an idea of how to underwrite our deals, and we had some money saved up, and we were able to do a low money down conventional structure to purchase this 3 flat here. And it's really important to work with investor friendly agents who know what you're going to be putting your money into and what type of tenants are there, and if they have a network of contractors to help you purchase and like ride you through your first wave of inexperience and struggles. And so that was how we were so successful with this first house hack, is because we had the people around us to help us and guide us, and who were excited to see us on our journey. Because if we just constantly surrounded ourselves with people who didn't want to hear about real estate or wanted to go drinking every weekend or didn't really want to just do any work, then we would never get this done. You have to surround yourself with people who are doing the same things.
Yeah.
And so once we got that going, we placed a tenant in the units here and in Bolingbrook. After a little bit, after like 6 or 7 months, I was able to refinance money out of the Bolingbrook home and use that money as a down payment for the new 3 flat.
Yeah.
And we actually just closed on a HELOC on this property, and we realized about $115,000 in equity in this one.
And you pulled that money out cash or tax free, right?
Correct. Yes.
So I want people to understand that first of all, a couple of things that you've touched on here. One is there's great opportunity to create wealth in small multifamily properties. You can, I wrote that book Exit Plan because I wanted people to understand how to maximize their profit, which doesn't mean you have to exit a property, but it does mean do what you did, recapitalize on a property,
Mm-hmm.
go cash out tax free, and go on, right?
You know, that's what I like to tell a lot of my peers or people who are like looking to buy a house for the first time, or people who are just really even interested in real estate, saying, oh, I can't buy a property because I need 20% down. I need 20% down. And I always tell them, well, what is your biggest expense currently and what's preventing you from buying that property or saving up that money? They're like, well, my biggest expense every month is my rent, and that's what I need to pay for. And I said, what if you can get rid of that expense? What would you do? They're like, oh my God, I'd do anything to get rid of that expense. And I'd say, have you thought about house hacking? And then I explain to them that means that's where you live in one unit and you rent out the other. And your other tenants are paying off your mortgage, and there your rental expense is gone. Well, what about the 20% down? Well, because you're living there, it's your personal residence, you'll qualify for these low money down products, these loan products.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I didn't know that I could pay 5% or 3.5% for a property. And so it's exciting when you give people these opportunities and realize, oh, that story that I keep telling myself I need to save up 20% is not true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had a guy on the show one day. He's a lender in Chicago, and I don't know if you know Ryan Cotter or not. He's with
I don't think I've come across him yet.
Movement Mortgage, but Ryan talks about this plan, and I love this, where you can use an FHA mortgage every time you buy, but do a 4-3-2-1. Buy a 4-unit, a 3-unit, a 2-unit, and then buy your single family home.
Wow.
And he goes, now you have 12 units, right? So
absolutely.
What a great concept, though, and a great idea. So I love that strategy. And I think that if people think through a strategy, they can ultimately be relatively successful at this,
Yes, there's so many ways to be successful in real estate. You can do short-term rentals. You can do arbitration if you can't get to the short-term rentals. You can do what is it? House hacking. You can scale into multifamily. And what our group is kind of trying to focus on right now is residential assisted living. So, I mean, there's so many ways that you can get successful in real estate. You just pick one. You have to pick one. That's the problem.
So, it just, everybody may or may not know there's a ton of different asset classes in real estate, right? You got single family, commercial, retail, office. But when you get to multifamily, there's so much in that bucket, right?
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got senior housing, assisted living, you've got small multifamily, you've got commercial, larger multifamily, mixed unit, self-storage. I mean, there's so many opportunities. You find what best fits you and get, grow in that bucket. Like for me, it's always been workforce housing, B-class product, C+, B-class product. And, that's where I've tended to find that value add best opportunities. So what is the next step up for you guys? Where, you've got a couple 3 flats. What's the next step up?
So, with having these like smaller multifamily properties, we just realized it's just going to be difficult to scale. We've got 3 roofs, we've got 3 driveways, we've got, multiple doors, we've got multiple lawns to take care of. And what if we can consolidate? What if we can put 100 or 200 units under one roof and have just one driveway? And it's just exciting to think that you can scale into multifamily. So the thing is, our group is very aware that, we don't have that track record yet of buying these syndicated deals and operating them. And so we want to partner with experienced operators who we can safely park our investors' money into their deal and then learn with them, learn with the best, learn with people who've gone through this, who can asset manage and who can do the accounting and do everything that we don't have quite the experience yet. Keep our investor money safe, and we can learn so that we can do it ourselves in the future. So one of our goals is to partner with experienced operators. And then one of our secondary goals is to open up residential assisted living communities within the Illinois area and then out of state.
Yeah, nice. Good for you guys. That's a great vision and a great goal. And that goes back to your compassion of giving back, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, a lot of our team members on Freedom Investing, we have a real estate background. So Angela used to work in senior living, and she was the director there. And then Chris, he is a certified registered nurse anesthetist. So we all have this background of caring and compassion and ethics. And we all loved our jobs. I mean, you don't go into nursing for the money. You go into it because you like to help people.
Yeah.
And so when we realized we can meld the two together and put real estate and helping people in healthcare into one, we're like, why aren't we doing this already? This is our forte. We know this stuff. This is stuff that might scare other people away. And so if we are comfortable with it and we're excited about it, and so we're going to go for it.
Yeah, good for you guys. That's great. So listen, let's talk a little bit about the GoB conference coming up. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. And, why don't you, talk about a couple of speakers that are going to be there and what the event's going to be about.
So yeah, we've been to conferences outside of Illinois where a lot of the networking and a lot of the deal making was not part of the conference.
Mm.
There were speakers, really great speakers inside of the ballroom, and everyone was outside networking, not paying attention, not being there. And so we're trying to capture that. We're trying to make networking an integral part of this conference where you can learn about underwriting any day of the week. There's so many resources online, especially if you're part of the GoB network. So many free resources online and live teachings, like Charles Seaman on Saturday. He does like a 4-hour underwriting case study every Saturday. You can learn that anytime. What you can't do every single day is network and build your network and get in front of people who are doing deals. And so that's what we're trying to really capture with this conference, and building in organic networking throughout the day for 2 days. So we have speakers that we're kind of doing a TEDx a format where we're trying to have the speakers be very focused on what they're doing and not drone on for 45, 50 minutes. Make it like 25, 30 minutes. Get what you need to say out there, make it very impactful, and then boom, go to network. And we're kind of going off and on with speakers and networking. And so we're super excited about the format. We're working with someone who does the TED Talk Chicago events here in Chicago. So we're very excited to have her on our team.
I met with Rachel, by the way.
Oh, Rachel Axelrod. She's fantastic.
Yeah, she kills it. That's for sure. So
yeah. So we're very excited about that format, and I haven't seen that done yet. And so I work, I work a W-2, and I have my real estate investments that we're actually doing construction on that 3 flat, and we're turning over a unit, and we're doing a conference for the first time. So I mean, I love the help that I'm getting, and this is a brand new territory for me. So I'm excited, and hopefully people just go on for the ride with me.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in the GoB, right?
Mm-hmm. So there's over 1,000 people.
Yeah, I would just encourage anybody right now who's listening, who's not part of the GoB network, to go online, register, join it. It's a free organization, and the GoB network really is a nonprofit, multifamily organization, right? That they give back to financial literacy. Is that correct?
So the reason why I love the GoB so much and why I love this conference so much is we've all been to a conference where at the end of the conference, or even throughout the conference, they'll say, hurry up, go sign up for our program. It's 50% off. Run to the back of the room, sign up right now. The GoB is not trying to sell you anything. We are a nonprofit. We are providing you with education, resources, a network. And that network is usually $60,000, $70,000 that you're paying for. We're providing you this network for free because Jim Biggs, the founder, knows that you learn the best in the trenches. You learn the best doing and not necessarily just seeing. So that's what we're super excited about.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And Jim has got, another guy with a compassionate heart, right? So
Jim is a go-giver. He's amazing.
And I love this line too. And I think Bob Berg said this, who wrote the Go Giver, but he said, the era of go getting is over, and now it's the go giver, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's how we build relationships. And so if you're looking to network, if you're looking to build more relationships, I know that the goal is to have 500 to 600 people at this event.
Absolutely.
Come out and network. And I love the goal of doing 40 deals, right? Mm-hmm. So here's what I would tell people. Come to Chicago in July 13th and 14th. It's at the Westin O'Hare. Mm-hmm. Either come with a deal to find a team to do that deal with, or come prepared to get on a team to do a deal. Because if we're going to do 40 deals in that room this summer, I think it'll be like standing on the floor of the Board of Trade, right?
Yeah.
Remember, I don't know if you remember those days, but that was always an interesting place to be. So
it's going to be exciting because I don't think people will have been to anything like this before. And so if people come with that, and a lot, I know there's so many GOB members that are coming. And so there's going to be this attitude of abundance, and there's going to be this attitude of go giver, and helping each other, bringing value. And so it's not going to be, well, I guess I can't say that. It's not going to be like a super competition. I feel like competition is for children.
Yeah.
It's immature.
Well, I always say the only competition you have is yourself. Hey,
Absolutely.
back to Rachel for a minute, right?
Yeah.
So she said to me, we were kind of talking about honing my speech a little bit. I just scheduled another call with her, but
Hmm.
she said, think of the one thing that you want to deliver, right? The one thing you want people to know. And I walked away thinking, man, how do I do that?
Yeah.
I made some mistakes and I want to talk about those, but really the one thing, and we talked about it earlier, is you can't let your past define you. And I
Absolutely.
think that that's the one thing, you know.
I
Um,
think that's such a great and insightful comment. Don't let your past define you.
yeah,
Think about your future. Look ahead.
yeah, for sure. So what else? Talk about underwriting for a minute. So how in depth are you in that? Do you understand it completely? Do you still struggle with it? What are your thoughts around underwriting, and
So
how do
under
people get started in it?
so underwriting, are you talking about small multifamily or commercial multifamily?
Well, I think you got to talk about it from your perspective. So
Hmm. So I'm the one who does the underwriting for our small multifamily deals. So I have my spreadsheet, I have my inputs, I have my projections. And so, I mean, if you're trying to underwrite small multifamily, like if you're going to try to house hack, you have to really know your market, and it really spills over into commercial deals. Know
yeah,
your market, know your demographic, know where your jobs are, and know your taxes really well. Let's see, know what your expenses will be monthly, know what your capex will be, what your future capex will be, and input that into like a 5-10 year spreadsheet, and see if you can make some money, and see what your interest rates are, and see if you can make some money.
yeah,
And my husband is the one that does the underwriting for these commercial deals, and it is very similar, but there is a level to complexity to those deals, because those deals are presented to investors. And so there's a lot of very uh, interesting ways that syndicators present these deals. And it can also almost be, um, I guess, deceptive if you're not keen on the terms that they're using. So annual cash on cash return versus IRR versus NOI versus all of those. It can get very confusing, because you'll see like, oh, they can say cash on cash, or we're getting $100,000 cash on cash return every single year. That sounds like a great number. But
mhm,
then if it's a large enough deal, that can be 2%. And that's not great. And so
yeah.
you really have to know and figure out why people are presenting their deals a certain way when it comes to commercial multifamily.
Right. Even if you're not going to be the one underwriting, you need to
Correct.
understand the fundamentals behind it, because here's what I always tell people: if you're going to go put a team together,
Hmm.
and you're going to put a good sponsorship team together to go do a 40 or 100 unit or bigger multifamily, you need to understand everything, all the moving parts. And I always tell people, I say, list out everything that happens in a syndication, then figure out what you're good at.
Hmm.
So if you're good at relationship building, or if you're good at construction, or you're good at underwriting, now go find people who will complement you and are good at other skill sets.
Hmm.
That's what makes a really good team. That's what strengthens a team.
Exactly. And so, my husband, he's always really loved the numbers, loved doing spreadsheets. And so, well, actually, he's learned to love doing spreadsheets. And so he's taken on that mantle. I've always enjoyed interacting with our tenants, doing the maintenance, organizing the rehab, placing tenants, dealing with the interactions and any conflicts. I've gravitated towards asset management. Angela and Chris, they've both found their strengths as well, and they are fantastic. Chris is our networker. He is the face of freedom investing, and he's just so charismatic. And anyone who gets into contact with Chris knows how exciting his personality is. And so he is a natural extrovert. and we love him for that. And Angela is our amazing marketer, and she kind of holds the glue together for everyone. And she does a fantastic job at her role as well.
And that's pretty cool that, both of us are on great teams with good team players and, always working towards the finish line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure things go well. So, and especially when doing bigger deals, our investors and making sure our investors are happy. So, hey, April, how do people get a hold of you if they want to connect with you?
Hey, so my email is april@freedominvesting.com, or you can text me 815-975-1967. I've always got my phone on me. If you've got questions about the conference, if you've got questions about house hacking, if you've got questions about coming to our meetup, Windy City REI, which is at Navigator Taproom and Logan Square, you can ask me anything. I'm an open book. I'm always willing to help if I can.
Yeah. And that's always the last Sunday of the month.
Last Sunday of the month. And actually, our presenter is Carl Gordon Moose.
Yeah, that'll be great.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, hey, April, it's been great talking with you today. Any last thoughts or comments for people listening?
If you have not bought your ticket for the GoB Network Conference, do so before the prices go up. We've got some amazing speakers. We've got Luke Wren, Brian Briscoe. We've got our very own Mike Morawski. We've got Jay Scott. We've got George Abreu. We've got Ian Durgic. So many people. Isabel Guarino-Smith from Residential Assisted Living. So come learn, network, and get some deals done. Be a real estate investor.
Awesome. Thanks, April, for being here. Hey, I'm going to move you to the back room. You want to hang out with me for a minute?
Absolutely.
I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Hey, everybody. That was my interview with April from Freedom Investing. And we talked a lot about multifamily, small multifamily, and, the opportunity in that, and well as mindset, And one of the things that came up a couple times for us is don't let your past define you. Start to change your story, start to think differently and move forward. Hey, if you're new in real estate investing, or if you're a seasoned investor, come out to the GoB conference, July 13th and 14th, the O'Hare Westin here in Chicago. It's going to be 2 days of intense networking, some great speakers. You're going to gain a wealth of knowledge and information. And you know what? You're probably going to have some fun because I know there's going to be some other things going on. We get to meet. And listen, April told you how to go get tickets. Let me give you a gift. Go use my last name, Morawski, in the coupon code and receive $100 off. So I will look forward to seeing you at the GoB